day to have a look at it. Came along, the key was put in, switches, but and he went, it's nearly kicking in, but there's something just not right. He took the back off it and he fiddled about with the wires, and he put the back on, choke, still nothing. But there was this little flicker of life, that constantly came into it. And then Mud says, we're never going to get this. And I said, look, listen, go you in for a cup of tea and bring him with you. I was the engineer sort of guy. And I need to get a breath of fresh air. And so they went in for their cup of tea. And I went back into the studio. And all of a sudden, when they were having their tea, they heard the sound of the Hammond organ. And came in to see me going dun 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 dun. I wasn't playing anything because I can't play the keyboards, but the actual thing, the system had kicked into life, and there was sound coming out of the whirly speaker, whatever it's called. Somebody else knows the exact name for it. And Mud was all, yeah, don't turn it off, and got Stevie Prosser along, and Stevie played these John Lord keyboard parts for a few of the songs on the album, and apparently there's no proof that Mud's not around anymore, but it apparently did belong to John Lord, the keyboard itself. But Stevie did the keyboard, everything, and then Mud went off and he went to get his dinner, and the mender of the thing, went off, and he says, don't want any money, he says, because I didn't fix it. And we all went, well, thanks very much, that's a few pounds saved, like. So Stevie said to me, when he was there the day before, his father, by the way, was, God rest his wee soul, a builder of church organs, the pipe organs. So he knew a bit about the workings of organs, not organs, like steel, a kidney organ, but I mean organs, keyboards. And he said to me, when I was here yesterday, that it did look dodgy. It did look as if it was never going to work. I said, but did you not notice that there was a wee flicker of life? And every time Mud was pulling at the choke, it would sort of start up a wee bit and then die. And he said, yeah. I says, well, I had one wee trick in my book that, but I needed him to get out of the way because I didn't want him to sort of think that I was sort of, interfering with his expertise. That's the guy who was fixing it, not Mud. I wouldn't have cared about him. So Stevie says, well, what did you do? I says, I turned the key and I ran around the back of it and I booted the fucking thing. I gave the thing a big boot. And all of a sudden, I went, oh fuck! And I went around the front and started the hit. But when Mud came in, he saw me going, trying to, and thinking, wow, but I was trying to turn the thing off because. But anyway, so the tracks, if you ever managed to get the first Storms of an album, we recorded it in 2006. And if you listen to some of the keyboard tracks on it are genuine Hammond, John Lord Hammond organ, played by Stevie Prosser, and now you know that it wouldn't have been on the album if it hadn't have been for the simple remedy of put the boot in it. So that was number one, I think, of things that work out, but in a way that you don't expect it to. So now you get it. I could go on about these things all night, I guess. And Mud, I promise you, I didn't do any damage, but if you had noticed one thing, that the back of it was turned around, the other way around, because there was no footprint on the bit that I put back on the back, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so that was that. And then I was thinking about different things, and uh, just before all that had happened, I was kind of the reason why that album and stuff was possible was because I had actually recovered from a very serious neck injury, and not a lot of people are actually aware of that, and it's unusual, if you've seen me perform over the last 25 years or whatever, 20 years since it all happened, that if I'm with my neck is or was. So what happened was basically I was working for a drilling company, and we were putting in cables for electric Ireland and gas cables and stuff, but they didn't want to dig up the road, so they sent this big drill head in under the ground, and it went like 100 meters under the ground. I had to follow the head, guided by radio back to the guy. It was like something from Armageddon, when that thing goes into the ground to blow up the asteroid. Well, it's technically like that, only it's going along rather than down. But once it gets along to its destination's like this big pit that two cables are going to be joined up in, but it's wet and it's deep and it's cold, and then this thing's going and eventually comes hopefully through. But then you have to get these big wrenches and tools, twist the thing off and lift it up and push it up, out of the pit. Two men would carry it away, but there was only one man, down in the pit doing all the wrenching and torsion, whatever thing. And I was just I remember on a Saturday, I was going to do a gig. Actually, it wasn't a singing gig. I was providing the sound equipment for a youth football charity thing at Windsor Park, and I was getting showered ready for it, and I bent my head forward to wash my hair, and I felt as if someone just went, and that actually hurt me. I felt as if someone had given me a big punch in the face, but it had went down my back. And I shook it off, and it was sore all day. Sunday, sore all day. Monday, going to work or ready to get up for work, and I said to my ex Margaret, it was 7 a.m. or something, I can't move. I can't move. So I got her to bring the phone to me, and I'm on to my boss, Matt Rogers. I said, Matt, I can't make it into work today. I can't move. And he's going, well, can you come round and maybe supervise or something or do that? And I said, you don't understand, man. I can't move one single muscle or bone. So after a couple of days, I was able to actually manipulate myself, go to hospital, and they done x-rays and stuff. And it turned out that I had prolapsed discs. So again, for anybody who doesn't know what prolapsed discs are, you're gonna if you think about your vertebrae in your spine, there's lots of them, and in between them are little like cushions as such. Maybe those wee cushions stop the vertebra obviously from rubbing together, which allows you to be flexible. If they go, the cushions used to be called a slipped disc. And that's called a prolapse disc. And if one goes, you're in pain. Two goes, which happened to me, you're in agony. And I had two gone and a third one about to. So I mean, like, I was shitting myself, every day sneezing or whatever. So I went for MRI scans and all this, that, and the other thing. And the prognosis wasn't good, so the doctor actually, I'll near shit myself, and I was with Margaret at the time, and she'll confirm this. We were sitting in his office, and the doctor rang up the surgery or the hospital and said, we're going to have to take a more aggressive approach to this. And I'm going, what the fuck? What's an aggressive approach? He said, we're going to have to operate. This guy needs to get this sorted out, but whatever we're doing, isn't working. And I go, so I put the phone